My name is Brooke Pashier, and my journey has been one of profound transformation. At the age of 27, I found myself in a place that felt impossibly bleak. I was a single mom of two, struggling to make ends meet. The fear of not being able to feed my children or discovering our lights and water had been turned off haunted me daily. My circumstances felt like a cage, and I was trapped by a story I had told myself for years. I was not smart. I was stupid. I was unworthy of prosperity, love, or happiness. I believed my life was destined to be a struggle. This story didn't start in my adult years. Its roots went deep into my childhood. In the 8th grade, I was voted class airhead, a title that followed me into the 12th grade. These moments became the narrative of my life. I internalized these labels, and they shaped my perception of who I was. Despite growing up in a loving family with immense support, I couldn't see past the cloud of self-doubt that enveloped me. One person stood as a beacon of hope and belief in me: my mom. She was my biggest cheerleader, always there to remind me of my potential and capabilities. When I ventured into real estate, it was her voice that pushed me forward. She'd say things to me like, "You've got this. Of course they will list with you, and you are capable." Her unwavering faith in me was a lifeline. We were not just mother and daughter. We were best friends, co-workers, and she was my rock in raising my children. In 2015, my world was shattered. My mom was struck by a car and passed away. The months that followed were a blur of grief and pain. I was lost in a fog, barely able to function. But slowly, I began to hear her voice again, not in the physical sense, but in my heart and my mind. Her affirmation started to replace my negative self-talk. I began to believe the words that she always said to me. It wasn't an overnight transformation. It took time. But I had to believe those affirmations because it was the only way forward. I rebuilt my life, step by step, driven by the love and belief my mom had in me. My real estate business grew drastically. I built a team that consistently ranked in the top 1% of our market. The success was not just in numbers, but in the realization that I was capable, worthy, and intelligent. I've hired business coaches and had the tools to build an incredible real estate business. But my dreams were bigger, and I knew that in order to think bigger, I needed help. I didn't need to know more systems, more tools, more ways to do more and more and more. I couldn't. I was already putting in 80+ hour work weeks. I needed a mindset shift. I needed a new identity. I hired a consultant who worked with Bob Proctor and began understanding that it is my thoughts that create things, that there are no limits, that I am able to do as much as I can see. Things really started to change again after this. I published my first book, and I began coaching hundreds of realtors and entrepreneurs on everything I knew. There was a problem in the beginning, though. I shared my playbook of everything. I held my clients accountable, but I learned quickly that they didn't need the playbook. They too needed the identity shift. They too needed to understand their own power. This is real transformation. Just over 1 year ago, I hired another mentor who taught me that we are always manifesting. We are either creating the reality that we fear, what today looks like, and we live Groundhog's Day, or what we can see in our imagination as the best versions of ourselves. The work is always within. Our business, our lives, they will never outgrow us. Sometimes we need to discover what's holding us back and replace those limiting beliefs. I am now happily married. I have a beautiful blended family of 7. I own Uncaged Potential Coaching with my husband, and I live a life that I once only dreamed about. I didn't realize that it was in the cards for me. I thought that having everything was for everyone else, until I didn't. It is now my life's mission to help others redefine the story they tell themselves about who they are and help them live lives of prosperity, health, wealth, and love. unconditionally and unapologetically. Are you ready? Hello. Oh, I'm so happy and grateful you are all here. Thanks for coming on. Good to see you. If you have the capability, please turn on your camera. You are the fuel that keeps me going and keeps me excited. And Nikki, you just did. Thank you. Every time you took your camera off yesterday and I could see your expressions, I was like, oh, good. Thank you. And same with you, Bridget. I just love seeing you. So good to see you. Thank you for being here today. Today's going to be one for the books. I can tell you that. I think that you're going to be really excited about how to put all of the information that we had from yesterday together and kind of see how it's going to make an impact on your life and how you think. So, what we're going to do today is we're actually going to start rewriting the story. So we're going to talk about the limiting beliefs that maybe we found in when we were actually writing out what we would love. Sometimes when we write out what we would love and we go to the highest versions of ourselves, we have that but all the reasons why I can't, all the reasons why I shouldn't, and all the things from the past or what's going on in our present that's saying to us, nah, not for you. Let's just go back to what we're comfortable with. So we're going to talk about those limiting beliefs, and then we're going to rewrite that story. We're going to figure out how to do that. And then we're actually going to get into the embodiment of it. How do we move? How do we act? So manifestation has kind of become like a word that people are familiar with or getting more familiar with. But when I think of manifestation, I absolutely do not think of like, I'm just going to sit with my legs crossed and my hands like this and go, I just hope everything comes to me. Thank you, universe, for delivering. We actually have to move in faith towards what it is that we desire. Right? So we're always moving towards something. We are either moving in faith or we are moving in fear. So we want to make sure that we're moving and embodying faith when we know what the highest version of us is, when we know exactly what it is that we want. So today we'll go over that too. We're going to rewrite our story and we're going to talk about embodying. But first, what I want to do is I would love to go over what we talked about yesterday as a quick review, more so I can understand what it is that you discovered. And so if you have questions or you have comments, please put them in the chat. I will stop and I will look at those. But we went through quite a few things yesterday. And if you took the time to do the worksheets, fantastic. If you didn't take the time to do the worksheets, ask yourself why. Why didn't I do the worksheets? What got in the way? Whose schedule did I allow to come before mine? Or what fear did I have that got in the way? Or what is it? What was the reason I didn't do the worksheets? Because again, that is an action. A non-action is an action. So which one was it? Did we move and want to really discover some things about ourselves, or did we allow ourselves to stay the same and not go there? All right. So what we talked about yesterday is we first have to have an awareness about who we are. Who am I? What is it that I'm feeling most of the time? What is like my underlying dominant feeling that I am used to? We will default to what's comfortable, even if it's not healthy for us, right? If we're not aware of it. So a lot of us say, well, I didn't choose to live in chaos. I didn't choose to live in toxicity. I didn't choose to have this life. It wouldn't be what we desire. But even sometimes those situations are what we're comfortable with, and so we default to them. Okay. Are your thoughts about yourself right now? Are they empowering? Are they limiting? What do you like about yourself? What do you feel like you could, that there's room for opportunity, room for growth? Maybe the other thing too is, are you open to receive? Do you believe it when other people compliment you? Or do you believe it when people criticize you? Right? A lot of times we will believe, we can even put something on social media, right? And we can have 15 comments that are encouraging. And you can have one critical comment. And many of us will fixate on that one critical comment rather than moving towards being open to receive the compliments. A very good example is, even if somebody were to say to you, I like your shirt, and you immediately react and say, oh, this old thing, or I got it on sale, or oh, I just woke up and I look terrible today. I can't believe you said that, but okay. Or is your immediate reaction, thank you? Are we able to believe others when they compliment us? Okay. Then we want to get into our imagination. So we started yesterday, we started in the intellectual mind. The intellectual mind is paying attention to who am I right now. Intellectual mind is paying attention to how do I feel about who I am? Do I like myself? Where is there room for opportunity? Then we went into spirit. We went into our imagination. This is the feminine work. Okay, we go into our imagination and we go, ooh, all right. Well, what would I love to be, do, and have? Let me get into my imagination. Let me go to the highest version of myself. And then we have to ask, what am I telling myself about this? When I write down, I would love this. This is the highest version that I can see for me. I would love to have a multi-million-dollar company. I would love to open up this foundation. I would love to give to this charity. I would love to take my family on this vacation. I would love to have these experiences. I would love to live in a lake house. I would love, what would I love? Who would I love to work with? What would this look like? How much would I like to work? What would I love my life to look like as my grandest version? The thing is that a lot of times we go into what is it that we would desire, and then we have this jolt, this feeling of, yeah, but I'm a single mom. Yeah, but I'm just not that smart. Yeah, but if I build my business to that, then my customer service will go down. Yeah, but I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not whatever. Too old, whatever that is. That's a man's job. All the yeah buts that we tell ourselves. And then we want to look at those and say, is that true? Is that true? Where did that thought come from? Do I believe that? Who says? Is that my thought? Or is that a thought that was programmed in me before I was able to decipher whether or not I believed that to be true? So I want you to question everything. This is the awareness. When we are observing our world, when we can step back and say, okay, everything just is, until I decide whether or not it's right or wrong or good or bad. Everything just is. I get to decide, how do I feel about that? Okay. So if you feel inclined, Go ahead and put in the comments. I would love just for a couple of you to throw in there one thing that you can see for yourself as the grandest version, the highest self. This would be best case scenario. I would love to have this thing in my life. I would love to have this experience. I would love to build this kind of business. I would love my relationship to look like this. I would love my health. What would be some things that you came up with? Put it in the chat. Let me know something in there about the highest, grandest version of yourself that you discovered that you would love, something you desire. What would that be? What would that be? Did we do the worksheets? If you did, go ahead and look and see and say, okay, what did I write down? Give me an example. What would I love? Who would you love to help? What would you love to experience? Who would you like to surround yourself with, both business and in personal? What would be a perfect day for you? How often would you work? What times would you work? Love this. Okay. Bridget, the highest version, I own multiple properties. I have vacation rentals. Josh, I would love a beautiful cottage on a lake. Okay. So, Bridget, I would own multiple properties. I would love to have vacation rentals. Any idea how many is the highest version? Is it 4? Is it 10? Is it 40? Is it 400? How many? Okay, 3 at the most. Anything else after 3, you're like, oh, that's a lot, right? Okay. Do we have, oh, all right, it needs to be manageable. Bridget, do we have a belief that anything over 3 properties is unmanageable? Yeah. Right now, yes, right. So we can say, okay, right now I would love to have 3, which I love that you have the awareness to acknowledge that. Because the way that I look at when I say highest version or the best version of ourselves or as far out as you can see, I picture myself in a tunnel. And when I'm in the tunnel, I have a flashlight. And all I can see in that tunnel is how far that light will go. So right now, at the awareness that you stand, you say, 3 is the most I can have. Great. When we start embodying, I am the version of me who has 3 rental properties, and we start moving towards that, and then we see, oh, I can easily manage 1. I can easily manage 2. 3, oh, but you know what? Look at the profit that I'm making in the business I'm building. Maybe I could leverage myself a little bit. Maybe I could hire a property management company and still remain profitable. Maybe I could flip some of these, or maybe I could sell one of them and I could purchase more, whatever that could be. But right now, with the awareness, you say 3. Yes. That's why this work never ends. Because the further you go down the tunnel and you start walking with that flashlight, all of a sudden you can see further down. You can continue to see how far you've come. You can continue. So it's a never ending process. So I love this. So the highest version that Bridget can see right now is I want 3 rental vacation properties. Perfect. By December or sooner, I would love to impact and inspire at least 10,000 people generating $150,000 or more. Nikki, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. I would love to inspire 10,000 people. And in exchange for me inspiring and helping and motivating and giving value to 10,000 people, in exchange for the value I give, I will generate $150,000 in income. Yeah. Okay. Pay attention to how that feels. We're in our imagination. It feels really good, right? So now we're going to say, all right, I would love to give value. I would love to inspire. I would love to make an impact on at least 10,000 people. I love that you also, I'm stopping here because I want you to hear how she wrote that. At least. She didn't say I'm stopping there. She said at least, and then she said or more at 150,000 or more, meaning I am open to more. I always say this or something better. This or something better. Because I have faith that there's a higher power that can see more for me than my intellectual mind can see at the moment. So when I ask, I say this or something better. I would love 3 at most. Ooh, I would love 3 or something better. I'm open to receive. I don't know how it's going to unfold. I don't know what it might look like, but I am open to receive or better. However that comes to me. And I have full faith that I'm not doing this on my own, that when I ask, it is always delivered. I will find the path of least resistance to get there. I don't have to figure that out right now. In fact, if I know exactly how to get to my goal right now, it is not a big enough goal. If you already know how to get there, is it the grandest version of yourself? We don't need to know how we're going to get there. We just need to know who we are, who we identify as that version of us, and be open to receive, and the answers come. We have to know the first step. The first step is, what do I want? Who am I as that version? And then it's okay. I am impactful. I make a difference. I inspire. In fact, I know I want to talk to 10,000 people, so I am unafraid to reach out to 10,000 people and let them know the value that I can add to their life. I am bold. I am organized, and I know exactly I know exactly what my message is. I know what I want to say to them. Okay. Now, if that's the case, and this is who we are, what we need to discuss then is, how do then I embody? How then do I be bold? How then do I be inspiring? How then do I be this grandest version? So wanting and wishing and asking is one thing, but the faith comes through acting. Why? Because we are always in action. Even the decision to be in inaction is an act in either fear, right? And then an act in towards what we want is an act in faith. An act in faith. Okay. So then it's like, okay, I would love this. I would love to have this. What's the reason that we don't have it right now? Someone put that on there. Why do Nikki, why have we not yet impacted 10,000 people? Bridget, why have we not yet had the vacation rental? Josh, why don't you have the cottage? Yeah, I'm actually asking you that for real. Why don't we have the cottage? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But, right? So, what is it about your situation right now? Because there's a difference. When we are acting in faith and we are embodying the highest version of us, when we are identifying as her, then we're just simply in the gap. There is going to be a time gap between what you desire and it actually coming into fruition. Okay. So you can say, absolutely, I am embodying her. I am working and walking towards her. Every day I'm doing the activities. Every day I am showing up as this version. I'm simply in the gap. That's one reason we might not have it. Simply in the gap. I know what I want. I'm in the gap. I am moving in faith. I know it's coming. I know it's available to me. I have no control over the timing of how that is, when that happens, but I am acting in faith and I am moving towards it. That's the gap. Another reason, though, is I could say, why don't we have it? And someone could say, well, I don't have enough money in my bank account. Well, I tried that once in the past and it didn't work out. Well, my Uncle Joe had an income property or several and he lost everything. Well, I just went through a divorce and my ex-spouse took everything from me. Well, I'm a single mom. Well, yeah, but. If that is the reason why, when you ask yourself, why do I not yet have this in my physical world? Are we acting then in faith or are we acting in fear? We're acting in fear. And when we act in fear, what we're really doing is we're making ourselves victim. And we are not victims here. We are not victims here. So we can move towards faith or we can move towards fear. But those yeah buts are, ooh, what's going on? What's going on? So then, how do I change those limiting beliefs? So as I was going through those three situations, I would love to impact 10,000 people. I would love to have 3 income properties. I would love to have a beach house. Ask yourself, ooh, this is an awareness. Am I simply in the gap because I'm acting in faith? Or am I acting in fear and creating what it is that I fear? Which one am I paying closest attention to? All the reasons why I can't, or all the reasons it's available? Okay. So someone tell me if there was a limiting belief, and I'll just give you like, I don't have enough money for the cottage. I want to have this much in savings before. I don't have the money or the funds for an income property. Okay. Those are all the reasons why I don't. Someone give me something that may have resonated on a limiting belief or something that they discovered of why they don't yet have what it is that they desire in their physical world. Put it in the chat. Could it be I don't yet have the income? I don't yet have the savings. I don't have enough time. I'm afraid that I won't be able to manage it. I haven't actually like gone into the feeling of it. I just discovered that's something I would love. No one's ever asked me what I would love. No one's asked me what I want. I don't have the income. Thank you, Bridget, for being honest about that. Okay. I would love to have 3 income properties. Right now, I don't have the income. Okay. So if we're constantly saying, I would love 3 income properties, I would love 1 income property, but I don't have the money, that's the underlying belief. I don't have the money. That's saying I am cutting off the desire and I'm focusing on I don't have enough money. And the universe, God, source says one thing and one thing only. Yes. Your wish is my command. What you ask for, you will always receive. But it's not what we want. It's who we are. It's who we identify as. So can we change that but to an and? I would love 3 income properties, and every day I'm moving towards that in full faith that it's happening. Every closing, I'm putting away 5% of my commissions or whatever it is that is going to go towards a down payment. I am every day showing up as the woman who already has those 3 income properties. How does she carry herself? How does she think about herself? What is her feeling? I mean, is she already feeling three income properties? Does she feel prosperous? Does she feel excited? Is she like happy about life? Is she like all the things, right? Like I've accomplished this. Can we feel that without the three income properties? Yes. That's getting into our imagination, is getting into the feeling. How do I feel when I have these three income properties? Oh, I feel prosperous. I feel proud of myself. I feel accomplished. I feel free. I feel like I've taken ownership of my life and I'm creating beautiful things. Can I get into that feeling and show up as her without the three income properties in our physical world at the time? Yeah. I can make decisions from the version of me who already feels prosperous, who already feels like I'm, creating a legacy, who already feels free of and able to make her own choices. So I can move in faith towards what it is that I desire, but I have to hold in my imagination the identity of already having. Why? Because we know that everything is always available to us. How do we know? Because if someone else has it, it's available to you too. The only reason it is not in there in your physical world is one of two reasons. You're in the gap and you're moving in faith towards it, or we're focused on the reasons why we don't have it and we keep creating the same reality that we have. So there's a difference if people go, well, why don't you have it now? Like nobody could convince me that I am not a multimillionaire. No one could say to me, Brooke, you are not an 8-figure income earner. No one. Now, again, is it about the 8 figures? No, just like what Nikki said. It's about the impact I make, and that's the exchange. No one can convince me otherwise. That's who I identify as. But if someone were to look in my account, would they say, Brooke, I see that 9-figure balance in there? Okay, I can concentrate on what's happening right now, but I also understand that my thoughts that I have today are exactly what create my tomorrow. The thoughts that you had yesterday are exactly what created your today. So I have to get to a place where I start spending more time in the feeling, in my imagination, seeing and making decisions from her, that identity. I just want to add a ton of value. Right? And in exchange, this is what I desire. Okay. So what is it? What are the beliefs? Same thing. Well, I would love to have a beach house. Okay. Am I moving in faith? Am I looking? Am I seeing myself in a beach house? Am I like actually doing a search and am I getting as close to that as possible? Am I dreaming? Am I envisioning? Am I feeling? Same thing, Nikki. I would love to make an impact on 10,000 people. Okay. How am I making an impact on people right now? How am I empowering others to be their best selves right now? What are a couple activities that I can do every single day to absolutely embody the version of me who makes an impact on 10,000 people? Who is she? What's the identity? And then we move towards that. All right. We see how our thoughts can create. So what we want to do is we really the real work starts after we've been in our intellectual mind and we've discovered what our limiting beliefs are. Now, if you're someone who says, "Oh, but Brooke, I don't have limiting beliefs," I'm going to challenge you on that. And I'm going to ask you to get vulnerable with yourself because nothing changes unless we change, right? No, I don't have any limiting beliefs. Okay. I have limiting beliefs. And I've been on this journey for, oh my gosh, almost 20 years now. I think I said I started my personal growth journey at the age of 27. Yeah, almost 20 years later, here we are. It's like an onion. Every new version of me, every time I set a new goal, every new identity that I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm going here. I have to peel the layers of my onion and say, okay, what is the story I'm telling myself right now that no longer is serving me for this version? What's the story? I have to figure that out. I have to know, because for me, this is kind of what we are in a ship. I'm a visual person, so I'm going to give you a visualization. We're in a ship and we say, okay, let's just say, I'm just going to travel from Florida to the Bahamas. I hope that's geographically correct. Yeah. Okay. I want to travel from Florida to the Bahamas. Okay. And I'm going to go by boat. My destination is the Bahamas. Right? I'm in a boat. Now, if I have to travel by boat, do waves come? Yeah. Could a storm come? Yes. Now, I could look at the waves. I could look at the storm. I could look at the weather. And as long as it's not going to kill me, because none of our fears are actually going to kill us, right? As long as I'm not going to die, I can still get to the Bahamas. The only way I don't get to the Bahamas is if I turn my ship around and go back to Florida. I quit. I turn around. I get rid of the dream and I say, this is too hard. I am in contrast. So I'm no longer going. That's what happens to a lot of us. We go, oh, someone said no to me. Someone doesn't want to do business with me. Somebody criticized me. It's not meant to be. I shouldn't go. No, the destination doesn't change, regardless of the storm. We're going to keep it cool during the storm. We're going to let the storm pass, and then we're going to go. And then something else might happen, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that you're not on your way to the destination. The only way you don't make the destination is if you turn around, meaning you go back to the identity of it's not meant to be for me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough money. No, every day I'm just moving towards in faith. I'm getting to the Bahamas. The other thing that can stop you, though, from getting there, and this is it, is if the ship is anchored. What would be the anchors? You're not good enough. You don't have enough money. You tried this once before and you failed. Everybody is going to criticize you. Stuff like that doesn't happen to people like us. Those are going to be anchors, and the ship cannot sail to the destination if it's anchored in the same space that it is. If we keep having the same beliefs, if we have the same limiting, the doubts, the fears, the old stories, those are anchors. So the only way to let the ship sail is to say, okay, that's an anchor. I'm cutting the rope. I'm recreating the story. I'm moving in faith. And then I can sail again. So there's a couple of things that we have to realize in that visual that I just gave you. A storm, a little contrast, doesn't mean you're not on the right path. It doesn't mean we have to turn around and go back. In fact, you will observe contrast as you grow. Why? Because the people around you fell in love with the version of you that you are right now. And when you are growing, they will be fearful of losing you. They will either be fearful of losing you, or you will expose a limiting belief within them that they are uncomfortable with. Because remember, as we said yesterday, we will judge in others what we judge of ourselves. Now, if we start paying attention, I call that noise. I'll even say to Josh sometimes, oh, so-and-so is getting a little noisy. I'll just observe it. Noisy, that's okay. I'm going here. I identify as her. Still love you. You can come with me. I'd love for you to. Let's grow together. But your limiting beliefs do not have an impact on where I'm going. And so when people are critical of us, or they have things to say about what it is that we desire and want, what are they really judging? People get uncomfortable when we go after what it is that we desire, and we change the identity to her, because we're exposing a limiting belief within them. And so it's very easy for them to judge it. We do this to ourselves too. What we judge within is what we judge of others. So every time I find myself judging somebody, I'm a human being. It happens. I don't love that. But every time I'm aware that I have a judgment of someone, I have to look within. I have to say, what is it about that behavior? What is it about that just happened that is making me so uncomfortable? Why am I judging that? Okay. So if we have had a history of looking at other people with the success that we desire and judging it, must be nice to take that vacation. She must think she's a real hot shot having 10,000 people that she's made an impact on this year. Right? Oh, now they think they're better than me because they've got the beach house. They must work 100 hours a week in order to be able to manage 5 properties. They have no time for anything else. They work constantly. Is it true? Or are we judging it? And why? What is it within me that makes me stop to do that? Perfect example is one of my limiting beliefs, obviously, and you've heard it a couple times now, is I grew up literally thinking I was not smart. My inner dialogue was, you are not smart. So report card time would come, and my straight A sister was like, yes, grades are here. Conferences, mom and dad, please go. I am the star child, the one that has the best grades, right? I became angry with her. Why do you have to brag? Why do you have to do that? I don't, you're such a nerd. I would judge. Why? Because something within me felt extremely uncomfortable by her being brilliant in school. I was judging because of an insecurity I held within, a limiting belief about myself. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to start taking, if you see somebody with 3, 4, 5, 10 rental properties, we want to catch how we feel about that. Am I using that as inspiration and saying, oh, fantastic. If they can do it, I can too. That is proof right there. Look at signs of land. That if they can do it, so can I. Or have they exposed a limiting belief, and then we default to the limiting belief and start creating, well, must be nice. Yeah, but she isn't this, she isn't that, she doesn't, whatever, all the limiting beliefs. I used to look at when I'll just spill it all here. As single mom, 2 kids. Oh man. You had a husband that made a good income and you stayed home with your kids. I was like, please. Judged it. Until I had to spend a whole week at home and I realized what being a home stay-at-home mom is. And I'm like, this is the hardest job in the world. No, thank you. Right? Like, but I would judge it. Why? There was a part of me that felt insecure about being a working single mom. Why? Because I told myself a story about that. Was it true? No, but because I believed it, it was my truth. We should just be able to congratulate and celebrate everybody for any choices that they make. You know, I actually look at stay at home moms now and I'm like, you have the hardest job in the world. Kudos. Good for you. Wow. I also used to be at work when I was in a corporate job, small little ones at home. And I would judge people at the office because they would say, oh, I'm so excited to go home and relax after work. And I was like, screw you. When I go home, the work starts. I come here to chill. Why? I was judging, but I wasn't judging them. I was judging because there was something within me that was being exposed when they were saying what they want. So instead of saying, oh, how wonderful you get to go home and relax after work, I'm really excited to go home too because I get to hug on my babies. I get to go be mom. And they go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm going to relax like you are afterwards. But man, am I grateful for this fulfilling life that I have. See the difference? We can be in gratitude and we can celebrate others. But when we are judging others, we have got to be self aware enough to say, okay, what is going on? What is within me right now? The other thing that we're going to discover as we're starting to cut the rope to our anchors is at one time, this story served me. Does it still serve the highest version of me that I can see? Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of an example. If you grew up in a home that was chaotic, that you were easily criticized, that whatever it is, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Whatever it is that of the home that you grew up in, at some point you learned if I play small, I can keep peace in my home. If I just am the fixer, if I'm just the one that keeps everything calm, if I take care of everyone else's needs over my own, I can then keep peace in my home. So at one time, especially maybe, and this is an example, I want you to kind of use your own situations here, okay? But I want you to think about what is the story I'm telling myself that served me at one time. I played small to keep peace. But then did it become routine, habitual, a program that you need to play small? Or is that an anchor, that belief that does not serve your highest purpose, your highest self, where you're going, the identity of who you are at the end result? So this is the self-discovery. And I really want you to understand a lot of the awareness is sometimes hard to find until you find that jolt of judgment. Oh, look at her being all loud on social media and thinking that she's going to have an event or thinking that she's going to do this. Wait a minute. Why am I judging that? Is there something within me that would love to do the same thing, but I've got this old programming that isn't serving that identity? What's going on there? Is it okay to evolve? Is it okay to change? Is it okay to undo the story? Yeah. The best way for us to become the identity of what that we wish is to just walk towards it. And then when you feel that jolt, you go, okay, something's going on. This is something I'm discovering now. That's a story that no longer serves me. Now, the only thing is that we have to be aware of is to not hate and judge the story, but to also understand that we have to replace it. Okay? That has to be replaced. We can't just say, oh no, I understand that's an anchor and I'm going to cut the rope. That's a limiting belief. I'm going to cut the rope. How do I rewrite the story? It has to be replaced. If we're not replacing it, what we're actually doing instead of rewriting the story and stepping into the identity is we are suppressing the story. We are ignoring that part of us that needs to be rewritten in order to step into the highest version. So, oh, okay, I just no longer feel unworthy. I'm just going to no longer feel unworthy. Hang on. If we're no longer going to feel unworthy of what it is that we desire, then what is the new story? I am so happy and grateful to be an investor. I am so happy and grateful to know that I am worthy of having 3 income properties and making money while I sleep, while providing housing and experiences for other people. I am so happy and grateful that I get to do that in exchange. And I am so worthy because I understand that the value I give is in exchange for the income that I am getting from it. Does that make sense? We have to rewrite the story. Kind of like how I said, I grew up thinking I was stupid. I was voted class airhead. Now, could I just say, I'm not stupid? No, that's me saying I'm not dealing with it. I'm going to suppress it. I'm going to put it under the rug. I'm not stupid. What's the new story? You're freaking brilliant because you know how to keep your head in the clouds and you understand that you create what you think most about. So we're going to spend our time in our imagination and we're going to think about what it is that we desire and move towards her. Stupid. That's just what normal people think having in your head in the clouds makes you an airhead. Watch me soar. I'm just in my imagination. I'm moving towards what I want. I got to rewrite it. Got to rewrite it. All right. Okay. Questions on that so far? Oh, I haven't. Let's see here. Okay, we're good on the questions. All right, just making sure that we're all set there. Okay. Now, we have to say goodbye to the old in order to become a new. We cannot hang on to our limiting beliefs in order to become the new. We have got to let it go. So when we're discovering what it is that we desire, we're going to hang on to the beliefs that serve us. Okay, what do I like about myself? What do and then we're going to rewrite the story on the limiting beliefs. Okay, so I want us to start to question everything. Where did that thought come from? Why do I believe that? Is that true? Does that serve my highest identity? Okay. I want you to start questioning it because everything that you express, you will express based off what you believe to be true. So if you are not aware of your thoughts, you will express, you will move, you will act in what you've been programmed to believe. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing is that I want us to understand is that we think, we feel, and we act. We embody off of what we think about most, off of our ideas. So are you in your imagination and are you getting excited and feeling and thinking about what it is that you desire as the highest, grandest version of you and embodying that and becoming and saying, I am her? Or are we constantly thinking about the failures from the past or from the lack of income or the dollars that show in our bank account today? Because everything starts with a thought. So if we're constantly thinking about the lack of dollars in our bank account, what are we creating for tomorrow? More lack. And then we're concentrating on how do I fix the lack? How do I fix the lack? How do I fix the account? How do I fix? How do I fix? How do I fix? Instead of, this is who I am. This is who I must be. This is what I think about. And you will start to see things unfold. But everything starts with our thoughts. So if we're thinking about the past, we are creating more of what happened in the past. If we are thinking about our current situation right now, we are creating more of what we are thinking about in our current situation. I don't know about you, but I would much rather spend time in my imagination thinking about what I desire, move towards that, and start creating what it is that I desire. I know it's already available. I know it's already there. The only thing that's keeping it is the anchor, the limiting belief. So yesterday I even said it's like we're a hose and those limiting beliefs are a kink in the hose. So however you think of it, okay? So everything's flowing to you. And the minute you say, yeah, but it goes kink, kink in the hose. Or you say, yeah, but, and the anchor just gets embedded in the bottom of the ocean even further. Okay, because we're believing them. We're believing them. Okay. The other thing to understand too is that we want to believe, we want to move in an act of love. Okay. We want to move in an act of love, meaning we have to understand that you are not a problem that needs to be fixed. If you believe you are a problem that needs to be fixed, are you acting in love? No. We're acting in fear. I have to fix. This is broken. I'm broken. I'm not good enough. So I'm going to spend all my time fixing rather than I am worthy. So if it's a health goal, we can hate our way to the finish line or we can love our way to the finish line. Let's say it's 20 pounds. I want to drop 20 pounds. I can say, hey, fatty, get to the gym. Nothing looks good on you. You're not going to be worthy of anything in the outside world until you get this weight off. Deprive yourself, cut your calories, go kill yourself on the treadmill. You're not good enough until you actually hit the goal, right? I can hate myself to the goal, or I can love myself. If I'm hating myself, I'm saying I am broken, I need fixing, and I am not going to be worthy until it's done. But if I'm loving myself to what it is I desire, I say, I am health. I identify as health. And because I love my body and because I want this vessel to last me forever, I will make healthy decisions from the identity of already being health. What happens when I make decisions from the identity of already being health? Moving my body, drinking my water, eating to nourish feels easier because I am health. So I make decisions from the identity of health. I am prosperous. I am the owner of several income properties. So I make decisions from the version of me that is already prosperous, that is already worthy, that already has the money, that already can see possibility from that feeling, from those thoughts. You say, yeah, but Brooke, it's not here. How do I do that? What would the highest version of myself do today? What phone call would she make? What conversation would she have? What kind of questions would she be asking? Maybe it's what is the stream of income that will help her create the down payment for the income property? I'm going to move towards creating that income. Okay, so what does that mean? Maybe I need to make another sale. Well, okay, how do I embody the version of me that makes enough sales in order to create passive income and have income properties? I'm going to embody her. I'm going to identify as her. Make sense? The other thing too is if you are not seeing what it is that you desire come into fruition, I also want you to start embodying the practice of getting as close to it as possible. Okay. So let me just say what I mean by that. By getting as close to it as possible, let's say you're somebody that has the desire to stay in 5-star hotels. But you're like, yeah, but the immediate instinct is, yeah, but Brooke, I don't have the income to stay in 5-star hotels. Why would I go spend $1,000 a night in a hotel? I can't. But it's a desire. Okay. Can you go sit in the lobby and have a coffee in a 5-star hotel? Can you maybe set up your laptop and do a little bit of work in the lobby there? Can you go to the coffee shop there? Can you sit at the bar in there? Can you just maybe sit, whatever it is? Can you get as close to that as possible so you can feel it, you can smell it, you can imagine it? Your subconscious mind goes, oh, I'm in this nice fancy hotel. This feels really good. I like how this feels. And then the more I do it, the more comfortable it feels, the better it is, right? If you have a desire to take a vacation, you're like, yeah, but I don't have the income right now to take that vacation. Okay, well, beautiful. We have the internet. Can you look up places? Can you imagine yourself there? Can you like picture your toes in the beach? Can you start actually putting together like how much would the flight cost? How much would I be able to do this? Oh, all of a sudden it starts to feel doable. I'm getting close to the manifestation. You want to drive like a G-Wagon or you want your Maserati. Great. Instead of hating other people for having that, must be nice. And you say, I love that. I want to get in the inside and I'll smell it. Maybe I'm going to go take one for a test drive. Maybe I'm going to go online and I'm going to start designing it. I'm going to get really close to the manifestation. I'm going to get as close to it as possible. That makes sense. We don't want to just go, oh, that's for someone else. Oh, that's not for me. If it's not yet in your physical world, one of the acts in faith is getting as close to it as you can. So by the time it becomes a reality, it does not feel like it's not meant for you, that you're not worthy, that you have imposter syndrome. It's like, I belong here. Yeah. Of course I'm staying in a Four Seasons. Of course I'm in this hotel. Of course I'm driving my G-Wagon. Of course I have the lake house. Of course I have the income properties. If your desire is I would love to have 3 income properties, I want you to go, Bridget, I'm talking to you because you said this. I want you to go into why. The 3 income properties is great. But what are you going to be able to do with it? Is the real reason I want the 3 income properties because I want time and money freedom. I want to make money while I sleep. Great. How are you then going to allocate those dollars? What is it that you really want? What's the bigger desire? I don't want to work. Okay. What are you going to do instead? To give people a great time on vacation. Okay. Go deeper. Go deeper. I mean, every time you're writing a check for 100 grand for a down payment on a property, you're gonna be like, people are gonna have a vacation here. What does it do for you? Your grandest version, right? The grandest version of you. So go deep on it. Makes me happy to help others. Okay. Yes. Makes me happy to help others. All right. So in order to help others, what would be the best thing to do to make you happy to help others? What is the number one thing you can do? Because you're making me happy right now just by engaging. And that doesn't take 3 income properties for you to make people happy. So what's the ultimate goal? You make people happy all the time just by being in their presence and engaging and being who you are, right? Go deeper. What do I want? This could be a thing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I want you to be aware. I'm making my goal about everyone else but me. What do you want? What do you want? I want to make people happy. Why? What does it do? And in exchange for making people happy, there we go. I want some financial freedom. Beautiful. I want to retire. Yes. Then what? See how I'm challenging you? What are you going to do in retirement? I want to travel. I want to go here. I want to do that. Great. How are we going to, okay, we're going to travel. How am I going to allocate those dollars? I want to travel. For me, financial freedom is making decisions based off of what it is that I desire, not off of how much it costs. Financial freedom to me is having enough money to make decisions off what I desire, to make decisions in faith, not decisions based off how much it costs. The minute I go to how much it costs, I shut off my stream. I start blocking it. I don't have enough money. That's irresponsible. I can't do that. My savings is going to be drained, right? Every decision I make, if I feel that is how I get to be financially free, I get to make decisions based off what I want, not off the price tag. So a lot of times we'll play small, right? Oh, well, I wouldn't want a G-Wagon anyway. Who would want that? I don't want to retire. Why would you retire if you love what you do? Just work 80 hours a week. Like, come on. Yeah. So we want to get there. Okay. Okay. Go deep, go deep, go deep, go deep. You cannot go deep enough on this stuff. When we say, I want to make other people happy, I want to do this for my kids, I want to leave a legacy, I want, okay. What do you want if you don't have kids? What do you want when the kids are gone? What do you want? How are you going to be fulfilled if nobody is renting out that vacation property and finding happiness in it? Go deeper. Go deeper. The best way that we can help others be happy, to first be happy, to first find it. So we want to identify as her first. Okay. Start paying attention. So when you're going through the, I would love to have this in my life. This is what I desire. Pay attention to how you feel. What you're creating is not what you would love. You're creating who you are. So we've got to get to the feeling of it's done. If I have a feeling of, yeah, but not in the cards for me. Yeah, but I'm not smart enough. I'm creating that reality. So I have to rewrite that story. All right. Get into the feeling. Embodiment is really kind of internalizing and understanding, how is it that I feel? Am I judging? Am I upset? Am I worried? Am I envious? Am I whatever it is. However it is that I feel about a situation is exactly what I'm creating. So I want you to then look at your goals and I want you to ask yourself, if I believed that this is true for me, how am I showing up? How am I being different? If I believed this to be true, how would I be different? It is the being, it is the act in faith. It's doing something, it's doing everything as the grandest version of yourself. How do I show up? How I show up to this is how I show up to everything. Are you asking for more, but then you're continuing to live the same experience over and over? I have a lot of clients saying to me, Brooke, I really want this, but I don't know why I keep stopping myself. Because if you say, I would love more, but I don't know why I keep stopping myself, it's because you hold the identity of somebody who is not capable, somebody who is not worthy. So when we hold the identity of I'm not capable, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, whatever it is, we're holding that identity. So when we hold that identity, that story is what will sabotage our results. Oh, well, you're not smart enough anyway. Oh, well, you didn't have enough money anyway. Oh, well, people with the money to be able to do that are bad people anyway. We're sabotaging. When we hold the identity of I'm stepping into her. This is the identity. Do we sabotage our results? No. That's why identity is the work. That's why stepping into the grandest version is what makes everything else easier. When I identified as I'm broke, broken, not smart, don't have enough money, any type of success felt really hard. Oh, and I worked hard. I look back at some of those years and I'm like, man, if I had just understood this identity work, my life would have been completely different. But I didn't understand the identity work, so I fell victim. It wasn't until I understood identity that I went, oh, no, I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. I accomplish, I identify. Okay. All right. So we have to be different. Be different. We want to think in alignment with where we want to go. Think in alignment with where we want to go, not think in alignment with where we've been. So every time you come up with an excuse, every time you come up with a reason, you are in alignment with where you were, with a past version of you that you are constantly recreating. So we want to think in alignment with where it is that I want to go, with who it is that I'm creating, the identity of my highest version. Okay. All right. Questions on any of this? All right. So then I want you to look at, we're going to talk about the embodiment. If there is a question, oh, there is something in here. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Okay. Good. It's funny because I can see it pop up on the chat and then I'm like, oh, I didn't catch that. So we're good. Got it. So now we're saying, how do we embody this? How do we go into this version of me? I'm going to give you the step-by-step of actually embodying her. Okay. So this is the highest version of me. This is the identity I'm stepping into. I am going to live more in my imagination. I am going to feel the feeling of my wish fulfilled. I have got to get into my imagination and feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. How am I thinking? How am I moving? What activities am I doing? What's getting me closer to there? I feel worthy when I do this. I feel smart when I do this. I feel impactful when I do this. I am impactful. I make a difference. Okay. That was Nikki. She wanted to make an impact. She wanted to make a difference. So then you're going to look at the new identity, the wish fulfilled of what it is that you said. I would love this. This is what I desire. This is who I am. This is the identity I am stepping into. And we want to create affirmations around that new identity. Okay. So if we look at the identity of our wish fulfilled, let's say, Bridget, I'm just going to use you as an example because you've been engaging. You said, I would love to have 3 income properties. Some affirmations around the version of you, the woman who holds the identity of I am an investor. Some affirmations might be, I am responsible with my money. I love investing my money and having it come back to me. Every dollar I invest comes back to me tenfold. I am so grateful that I am providing in vacation properties for everybody around me to be happy. I am bold. I am brave. I am worth it. What are the affirmations to tell ourselves as that highest version of ourselves? One of mine, when I first got into real estate and I learned it, was I'm a listing magnet. If I firmly believe I'm a listing magnet, did it feel unordinary, out of the ordinary for when somebody called me and said, Brooke, we'd love you to list our home? No, I'm a listing magnet. Of course you do. If I'm affirming I'm a listing magnet when someone calls me to list their home or they say yes to me, my response is, of course. If I don't identify as a listing magnet and I want more listings, but someone calls me and says, Brooke, we'd like you to list your home. I go, oh God, do they even realize who they're talking to? I don't have enough experience. I'm not good enough. Oh my gosh, they're going to call like 10 other agents. I'm going to be exposed. They're going to see that I don't have any experience. They're going to look at my numbers. Okay, you know what? I'm just not worthy of this. And then we go and we sabotage it. But if I'm spending time in my imagination and I say I'm a listing magnet and someone says, Brooke, I'd love for you to list my home. I'm like, of course. Did anything about my past situation change or how many numbers of homes I am currently listing? No. The only thing that changed was who I identify as and the affirmation I say around it. So if we have the desire to have 3 income properties and we say, I am an investor, I am capable, I am somebody who has their money work for me, I am somebody who sees opportunity and knows it and makes a quick decision. Then when you've stepped into that identity and you see an opportunity to invest in an income property, you go, of course. Absolutely, because this is what I asked for. But if we don't step into the identity, because we attract who we are, not what we want, and we say, I'm not worthy, I don't have enough money, and then an opportunity shows up for you to invest, you automatically go, nope, not ready yet, can't do it now. Oh my gosh. And by the way, if you ask me for anything, I'm going to be exposed. No. I'm open to opportunity. Opportunity comes to me. So what are the affirmations around your new identity? Okay. If it's, I'm a business owner, I impact 10,000 people. I am impactful. What is the identity around her? What is the affirmation around the person who impacts 10,000 people? I make a difference. I care. I'm bold. I put myself out there. I'm worthy. Everything I've been through, everything that I have gone through in my entire life is not for me. It's so I can help other people who might be doing and going through the same thing. I am so grateful for everything that happened in my life because now I'm able to make an impact. I can relate to other people and make a difference. care. See the affirmations that are going around that version? And then it's like, okay, here's the embodiment. I can say the affirmation, but then how do I be her? What is the action step I take to be her? If I say I am bold, what is the action step that says, yeah, you are bold? That's the faith. So I hear people say all the time, just write affirmations. That's wonderful. I am a leader. I am bold. I am strong. I am capable. I am worthy. I am a listing magnet. I am responsible with my money. The work, though, the embodiment comes in. Okay, now how do I be that? If I say I am bold, what action step can I take to be bold? If I say I impact 10,000 people, what action step can I embody to say I am impactful? What can I do today or every day to be impactful? What's the action? The other thing to know too about embodiment is the people who have the best results are very good decision makers. The thing though is if we are wavering on our decision, we have not yet stepped into a full identity. When we waver in our decisions, we say, I would really like this, but I'm still giving all of the reasons why I can't. I'm in my intellectual mind. I'm thinking about my current situation. I'm thinking about my past. So one thing I want you to practice in when you are given a task or something that you have to make a decision on is stop and ask yourself, am I making this decision from the version of me in the identity of my highest self? Or am I making this decision in the version of me from a past version out of fear that that could happen again, or looking at my circumstances in the version of me and the identity that got me to where I am today? Because if I want something different, I need to start making different decisions. And an indecision is a decision. Not taking action is a decision. So I'll give you an example. When I step into the identity of my highest self, and then I'm faced with a decision, I have to already be there in my mind. I have to be in my imagination. And if the answer is not a hell yes, absolutely, I say yes to that in this version of me, then it is a hell no. If it is not a hell yes, it is a hell no. That doesn't mean never, but it means I'm going to make a decision and I know exactly where I'm going. And if I know exactly where I'm going and exactly what I want, which is why we have to decide what that is first, and I step into the identity, I can make quick decisions from that version of me. Does this decision of saying yes or no to this opportunity serve the identity of me at my highest self? So, Nikki, I want to impact 10,000 people. I'm presented with an opportunity. Does this opportunity get me closer to impacting the 10,000 people, or does it move me further away or keep me where I'm at? If the answer is a profound yes, it gets me closer, then it's a hell yes. When we say hell yes, that does not mean I know exactly how I'm going to do it right now, but it means I am open to receive and I am looking for the doors to be open. Make sense? So there's like some programs I would love to get into. Okay. I'm not saying no. I'm saying yes, the version of me would love to be in this program. Then It's okay. I'm not going to say no. It's a hell yes, this version of me does. If I don't have the financial capability right now, it's still a hell yes. And I'm going to get as close to it as possible. I'm going to have the conversations with the right people. I'm going to move towards the goal. I'm going to say yes to opportunities that move me closer to that one. That makes sense. We got to know what we want in order to do that. Okay. Then I want you to ask yourself too, when you're going through the embodiment, what areas in my life do I allow other people to influence my decisions? What areas of my life do I allow other people to influence my decisions? Why would I want you to ask yourself that? Many of us actually don't even know like what it would be. We've just been so programmed and it's been like habitual for us to just, oh, you think that would be a good idea for me to do? Okay. Oh, that would be, you said that would be a good career for me to go into. Okay. Oh, you think that's a bad idea for me to want to be able to invest in properties because of this? Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Oh, you're going to judge me for that. And you're going to tell me one thing about me for this. Oh, yeah. I'm going to allow other people's opinions to impact my life. So start paying attention to that and then ask, who's paying my bills? Who's living in my body? Who's married to my spouse? Who's raising my kids? Who's building my business? Whose opinion is more important, yours or theirs? Shannon, thank you so much for this. My story mirrors. I would love to hear the end of your discussion. I have to work on. Okay. Shannon, totally fine. If you need to go, 100% get it. We'll send you the recording. So make sure that you look for that. Okay. All right. Now you say, okay, am I allowing the outside world to influence me? Am I allowing the opinions of others to influence me? And by the way, I still allow other people to influence me. I don't allow everyone to influence me, though. So, what I need to look for then is I need to look for the people who are supporting me in my decisions. I need to look for the people who are cheering me on. I need to look for the people who have what it is that I desire and use them for inspiration. So, it's not, it's one thing to say, oh, I don't care what other people think. Okay, let's be real here. Let's replace that belief with I'm particular about whose opinions I value. How do I become particular about whose opinion I value? It's very simple. If you do not have what it is I desire, your opinion is not really relevant. If I go to somebody for marital advice, am I going to go to the person who is miserable in their marriage and constantly complains about their spouse? Ironically, many of us do. Or am I going to go to the person that is going to set me straight and inspire me and has a marriage I would love to have? It's the same kind of thing when we're talking about business, and I'm speaking to my high achieving professionals here. Are you going to take advice as a business owner from somebody who has never opened a business? And they say, why would you do that? Just go get a job. It's too risky. It's too much. Or are you going to seek advice from somebody who has had successful businesses, knows what they're doing, and will cheer you on and inspire you the entire way? Who are you taking your advice from? So it's not enough to say, I don't care what people think. We do care what people think, but we do get to decide whose opinions matter. Okay. So that is going to be the embodiment of it. How do I show up as her? How do I show up as her? All right. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay. Step one, what do I want? Right? We did that. What are the affirmations around that? I am. Who am I? What is an affirmation around what it is that I desire? I desire to be an income property manager. I desire to invest. I desire to impact 10,000 people. I desire to create a business that creates freedom. What's the affirmation around that? And then how do I step into her? What is the action I can take right now to proclaim that affirmation? What can I do to act in faith that proclaims the affirmation around what it is that I desire, the new identity? Okay. Okay. Do we have any questions on any of that? Moving everything around here. Okay. All right. I am going to just talk to you. If we have questions, email me, put them in the chat. I will stop and I will go back there. All right. I want us to understand that our success is directly linked to who we identify as. That is the entire point of our last 2 days together. Our success is directly linked to who it is that we identify as. Okay. So we're going to make decisions from that end version. We're going to use affirmations from that end version. We are going to act in faith towards that identity. Okay. Several of you have already emailed me and asked me about my programs. Do not get off right now. I want to tell you, I have never, ever made this offer before. And it is a very short-term offer. It was a discussion. I felt called. I was like, this is something that I really want to do. I feel like there's a calling. I feel like high achieving professionals feel like to be able to achieve more or do more, that it's going to be hard and it's going to cause chaos and it's going to cause a disruption. And it is my absolute life's mission to show people how to have and be and do everything that they desire without the fear of being in chaos, and understanding and really getting into the identity work. Okay. So I have a couple of programs. One is called Break Free. Break Free is a 6-month program. I am with you 2 days a week for 6 months, 2 days a week. First session is a session. We go over the material. The second session of the week is an embodiment session, exactly what we were talking about here. How do I be her? How do I embody that? And it's a conversation. And I intentionally keep my groups small because I want my agents, my clients, I said my agents because I work with a lot of realtors, but I also work with a lot of business owners. I want them to feel like they are getting very good value. I want them to feel like they've got me very attentively. And so I am fully on with them. I keep my group small on purpose. We meet twice a week for 6 months. First one is Break Free. Break Free is typically $5,000 for the full 6 months. For 2 times a week with me, by the way. For a very limited time, I think, Josh, is this discount code that you just put in? I think we have it through Saturday. The discount code goes away. You will receive $1,000 off Break Free when paid in full with the discount code. So for $4,000, you will get a 6-month program. It includes 2 live sessions with me a week, very small group to make sure that you are very attended to, workbook, and you will also have recordings for a lifetime of everything that we have that we work on. Okay. Huge value there. The other one is I have Ascend. Ascend is exactly the same as Break Free. You're in those small groups. We have weekly discussions twice a week, session, embodiment session. With Ascend, you also get 12 one-on-one sessions with me. It is all about you. It is all about your business. It is all about what it is that you're going through. Many times it's about business. Many times it's not, because our personal lives can go into our business as well. Okay. Ascend is normally $8,000 for the 6 months. I'm also giving $1,000 off of this one with the code when paid in full. So instead of $8,000, it is $7,000 for the full 6 months. I've never given this away. I have never paid that little for a coaching program that made that much of an impact, but I really feel called to make sure that this is an affordable program for those who wish to step into their highest identity and know that somebody who's done it before them, that is going to be cheering them along the way, that is going to inspire them and help them step into the identity of their grandest version. I want to make it attainable. All right. It is so important for you guys to like say, I'm stepping into her. And if it's not this program, that's okay. Find one that works for you. But I do want you to understand, like, making a decision at the highest version of yourself is so important. Okay. So we're going to have these codes available. They are going to be available through Saturday. Come Sunday, I don't have any control over it. So don't message me and say, Brooke, I missed the code. I don't do that part of my business. Right? I'm like, I don't do that. So I just know it's going to be turned off Saturday night. If you are interested, some of you are like, I am interested right now. I know that this is what I want. I'm making the decision. Give me the code. I'm ready to sign. Some of you are saying, I still need a little bit more information. If that is you, I do get that. Let me know and we will schedule a 30-minute consultation to see if we're a good fit. Okay? But I do need to know whether or not you're interested before that. So if you're not on the fence and you're like, yep, an instinct is saying to you and the decision is done, the codes are there. If you need more information, schedule a one-on-one with me. I'll have Josh put that into the Facebook group that we're all in, the link, and then we can do a consultation and make sure that we're a good fit at that time. But what this looks like is it's 2 weekly sessions. So we will meet on Mondays and we will meet on Thursdays for 6 months. We meet from 10 to 11 Monday and Thursday. We will take the week of July 4th off. So if you say, oh, I have a vacation in there, that's okay. I think it's July 1st. It's actually like that Monday. We're going to take that week off and then we'll come back the following week. Okay. So this new session that I'm opening up right now will begin on June 17th. So not this coming Monday, the Monday after. We begin on June 17th, Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11. We go for 6 months. And we take that week of July 4th off. All right. Does anyone have any questions on the programs or anything of how that can look? All right. Josh put the codes in there. Beautiful. Thank you for doing that. If you do need more information, make sure you contact me and let me know. We will figure it out. But these programs and the $1,000 codes are good for being paid in full. Okay. I will probably never offer this again. I'm going to be honest. I have never once offered this before, and I will probably not offer it again. I just felt pulled that this is something I wanted to do for this group because you stepped into the identity of your high achieving self already. And I know that I want you to make a decision on whether or not this is a fit for you. Okay. All right. If there's anything else I can do for you, you let me know. If nobody has any other questions, we can end right now. Unless you want me to stay on for a second, raise your hand and I will answer any questions that you have. Okay. Bridget, you are fantastic too. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So wonderful. Listen, I appreciate all of you. Please take this work and embody your highest self and know that you are all worthy of that. You are already worthy. You do not need to be fixed or you are not broken. You do not need to be fixed to be worthy of everything that you desire. Step into the identity of her and let's act in faith and embody her. Okay. I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. It's Thursday, so have a wonderful rest of the week as well. And I really, truly hope to see many of you on the 17th, and we will begin our first session. I'm super excited for it. All right. Have a good one, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you.